Thalapathy Vijay's last film released this week. Not just his last film before politics, his last film, period. 30 years of Tamil cinema, one final frame. I watched it on first day and took my time to process everything, and I want to tell you what I actually think. Not as a fan, not as a critic, as someone with a foundation in this craft who has been watching this man's journey from the screen to the Secretariat. This is not a movie review channel, but this film is not just a film. It is Vijay's final film before he steps foot into the Secretariat. Full spoiler warning, but I'll tell you this upfront. Even knowing every beat, I will go watch this again. There are films you see once, and there are films Tamil Nadu will celebrate for years. This is the second kind for several reasons. Before anyone wrote a single scene of Jana Nayagan, I believe someone sat down and asked one question. What has Tamil Nadu loved about this man for 30 years? The answer is not one thing, it is everything. It is the energy he brings walking into a frame, a mask that no training produces and no camera can manufacture. Rajinikanth defined what a Tamil mass hero looks like for an entire generation. Vijay never tried to be that. He built something different. His own language, his own register, the kind that sneaks into your chest before you realize it is happening. And Tamil Nadu gave him their heart for it. From forest protector to cop to father to a man standing against a political power, every version of him believable, every version earned, each one carrying the shadow of the leader. Such screen presence took 30 years to build, and they built one last film around it. Now, something most people do not know, Jana Nayagan is a remake. It is based on a 2023 Telugu film called Bhagavanth Kesari, starring Balakrishna, directed by Anil Ravipudi. That film won the National Award for Best Feature Film in Telugu. When the remake was announced, the team denied it. The trailer confirmed it. H Vinoth himself said, the first half has 60% similarity to the original, the second half only 20%. And that 20% is where the film becomes something different, something political, something that resonates with the Tamil audience. H. Vinoth is one of my favorite directors working in Tamil cinema today. Dheeran Adhigaram Ondru is the reason. Arguably, the finest cop film the Tamil language has ever produced. When I heard he was directing Vijay's last film, I had real expectations. He did not fail them. H. Vinoth said the reason he wanted to be part of this project was Vijay's commitment to women's empowerment, which reminded him of why he made the Pink remake with Ajit. That commitment shows in every frame he was given full control over. The supporting cast in one breath. Pooja Hegde, pleasant as always. Prakash Raj as a corrupt politician, delivering every critic Tamil Nadu's political class has thrown at Vijay out loud with full conviction. Mamitha Baiju, playing the younger version of the film's central female character, her transition from a child to the older version is seamless and harder to pull off than it looks. Balakrishna on screen for just a few seconds, a detail you could miss, but when it happens, the theatre feels it, a deliberate reach across the language line. And Madan Gauri, Tamil Nadu's most prominent YouTuber, placed inside the story as someone who matters and then given the most meaningful exit in the film. That is not accidental. Now, the moments that define this film, the Kannaki statue, finger pointing, then Vijay riding in on a horse, that single cut says everything about what this film thinks it is. Kannagi, the woman who stood alone and faced the world, pointing the way, Vijay following that direction, woman's power leading, man's mission following. H. Vinoth made the same instinct call Atlee made in Bigil, but through a cop aesthetic rather than sport. The climax fight handled by a woman who spent the entire film gripped by fear. He stands beside her, she fights, she wins. He joins hands with her in that victory. Fear can be overcome, and when it does, you do not need anyone to save you. That is the message H. Vinoth was building toward from the very first frame. There are two names that rarely get said out loud, but absolutely deserve to be. Pradeep E. Raghav, the editor, and Satyan Suryan behind the camera. One decided when the camera should stay on him and when to cut away. The other decided how every one of those frames should look and feel. That is invisible work, but this film does not feel the way it feels without both of them. Now, the partnership that carries this film, H. Vinoth, Vijay, and Anirudh. Three people who each had to deliver, and all three did. There is a moment in this film where the partnership reaches its peak. The Ravan song, every time it plays, the theatre feels it in a way that is hard to describe. Anirudh's composition underneath, Vijay's presence on top, H. Vinoth's frame holding them both. If any one of the three had failed, the moment would have collapsed. And the background score throughout never has a single dull moment. Thalapathy Kacheri, Vijay's voice, his movement, his energy. This is what 30 years of Vijay looks like when it is operating at full power. but I want to be honest here. It is not the best dance sequence we have seen from him. It does not reach the heights of what we have witnessed from him in his prime. It is a great moment, but as a farewell dance, you could not help but wish for something that matched the scale of what this film was trying to say. And I can see all of Vijay's old movies getting re-released in theaters. And then the scene nobody who watched this film will forget. Vijay building a weapon piece by piece from broken metals, a short-handed kodali, a hand axe forged from whatever was available, on the phone with the villain. No army, no backup. Just a man building the tool he needs to get his daughter back while the villain is still on the line. No fear, no hesitation. That single scene showed more of who this character is than any mass sequence in this film. The political layer underneath everything. MGR handing him the satay, Vijay at the microphone, his voice carrying a register that deliberately echoes MGR's cadence. The non-on-it-all moment, thoroughly enjoyable every single second. Even the name choice, Porkodi, for the woman at the center of the political rescue is a detail that you can feel without needing to explain it. This was political propaganda film, but it was a propaganda with the craft behind it, and that makes all the difference. Now the weaknesses. The film has two antagonists, John Himmler played by Bobby Deol and Roja Rangasamy played by Prakash Raj. The film never clearly decides which one is the true lead villain. Both exist in the same space, competing for that position, and neither fully owns it. John Himmler's motive, being stripped and insulted by a politician with no connection to Tamil Nadu, has almost nothing to do with the world the film is building. The AI Africa storyline was an attempt to build scale around a villain whose core motive was already too weak to carry it. Spectacle where emotional stakes were needed. The robo sequences ran too long. The climax extended past the point where it needed to end. And Revati's scenes as the mother needed more weight because the film's entire engine starts with that loss, and if that loss does not land, the story takes longer to earn its momentum. The final image, Vijay in black, standing on top of a building, smoke and fire around him, holding the Indian flag. After 30 years, that is a farewell frame. That image will stay, and he already proved it. He is sitting in the Secretariat now. And then the three men walk in, Lokesh Kanagaraj, Atlee, Nelson, the men who defined his final era, together, in the same frame, at the end of his last film. That is not a cameo, that is a passing of the torch. Now the question I cannot stop thinking about, what would have happened if this film released before the election? Let me take you back to 2013. A film called Thalaivaa was scheduled to release on August 9. Its tagline was three words, time to lead. The AADMK government under Jayalalitha viewed those three words as a political challenge. 2 days before release, bomb threats were issued to theatres across Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. No official government order, no named culprit, but the film was blocked. The producers went to Kodanadu Estate to meet Jayalalitha personally and were denied an audience. Vijay released a video message asking his fans to stay calm. The tagline Time to Lead was quietly removed from all promotional material. The film released 11 days late. By then, piracy had already taken hold. The political pressure was real. The official explanation never came. That was 2013. Now it is 2026. The same man is Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and his final film faced the same wall. The CBFC refused to clear it for months. Courts got involved, release dates came and went. On April 9, 2026, the entire film was leaked online, pirated, distributed widely before a single ticket was sold in Tamil Nadu. The film became a loss-making venture before it ever reached a theatre. Jana Nayagan finally reached screens on July 23, 2026. After Vijay had already won the election, after he was already sitting in the Secretariat. Vijay did not control any of this. The CBFC is controlled by the central government, the same central government that Vijay, M.K. Stalin, and Tamil Nadu's political leadership across parties have been fighting together on NEET, on GST dues, on federal rights. This was not one man's fight, it was Tamil Nadu's fight. So my question is, if Jana Nayagan had released in October 2025 as originally planned, 6 months before the election, would Tamil Nadu numbers have looked different? Would the corridors of power that blocked it have done the math and decided it was safer to delay? We will never know what was left on the floor. We will never know what Tamil Nadu's verdict would have looked like if this film arrived 6 months earlier. And that brings us back to where we started. This film reached theatres in the same week Delhi was consumed by NEET protest that would end in a minister's resignation. Vijay's story on screen ends with one last problem solved. One last fight won. His story in real life is still writing its climax. More problems still to solve. And while Tamil Nadu is closely watching, all of India has an eye on him. The screen is dark now. but I'm certain the best performance of Vijay's life is not behind him, it's ahead.